Alrighty, welcome to another bi-weekly seed hosted by the Go Podcast. I am Amarith, and this is my co-host.
Hey, good evening, Amrith. Great to be here.
I'm glad to finally be commentating one of these instead of just free.
Yeah, we've got a whole crew with us, you, me, and a few others, and it's great to have other people in the booth with me. I'm looking forward to this match. I think we have something a little bit different as we normally do each bi-weekly seed on the restream. Do you want to explain what we have this week?
Yes, well, first off, this is just a regular vodcast instead of our normal live stream that we try to put. Simply put, these runners have both already run the race. They've both recorded it to their Twitch, and we are going to be rebroadcasting it to you for you and your pleasure. So, and the other thing in mind is that this is an Ambrosia Seed, a fun mode invented by Bueno over in the community. This is a mode where you do a casual start, so you will be in the house, have to do a standard opening. You have a sword by default, and the uncle tells you where the boots are, at least to some sort of spoilery.
One other detail, all the bosses are guaranteed to have an item, so there's a little bit more difference in how you might route every dungeon knowing that.
Yeah, there's a little bit more push to go for bosses at the ends, and if you're counting items right, you can know really early in a dungeon, just, hey, I don't need to do it, check anything else in here, I just got to get to the boss.
Absolutely.
All right, so we'll probably get the runners going here in just a second. Looks like we are getting started off here. I believe Uncle said that the boots are in the light world over there on Trinex's side.
Yeah, so, a very early bow for Trinex in Link's house. So, great weapon to start.
He's just starting off with all the weaponry.
Yeah, the hint that Uncle will give is kind of the same granularity of detail that Ganon will give for these silver arrows. So, it could be light world, dark world, or a particular dungeon.
Yes. Yeah, I think I've seen Pod come up more than anything on all the several Ambrosia seeds that I've run personally.
Uncle giving us a couple of bombs. That'll be great for the back of Escape, which we'll go past, and then to start off Kakariko.
Definitely saves us a bit of a hunt in trying to find the bombs. Just basically just says, hey, go ahead and rush Escape as fast as you can.
Okay, so we got a couple of cool sprites here. Trinex is rocking the everybody's favorite Moogle Mog from Final Fantasy VI, and Sailor Nep is going as Sailor Moon this time around. Really good work in the sprites this community does.
Oh yeah, I love a good variety. Always seeing a good variety of the different sprites, and always thought it'd be interesting to get into making them. But man, just the time and just like effort into making all those props to the people that make them.
Very talented group of people.
And also, little note on Sailor Nep's side: no, you are not seeing odd colors. That is actually a palette swap, an option that is enableable in the ROM settings. So, if you feel like running just a little bit differently, seeing things a little slightly different than usual, that's that.
Yeah, great addition for V31. Always nice to get a little bit of extra variety wherever you can.
Yeah, it used to be a setting that was limited only to atomizers, but in version 31 they were able to enable it throughout the entirety of all of Link to the Past randomizer. So definitely fun. And both these runners showing off their expertise of just like going through escape with a single sword, just hammering through all these guards and just dip dodging and ducking through. Gonna be a fast escape today. Hopefully a sub 6 for both of them.
Yeah, when you're doing escape in a standard route, you really are looking for that sub 6. Even without boots, it's very possible to do as long as you're not delaying too much in your movement, fighting unnecessary enemies.
Yeah, a lot of it does come down to that bomb hunt. But like I said, since Uncle gave us a bomb, save us that hunt, just kind of book it right to Zelda and just like, hey, here, have a free escape, go. You even probably have enough bombs for Kakariko once you get.
Yeah, either bombs or money. Not anything really noteworthy in these first few chests. We did pick up the small key as we're going to, having to get into the back of escape, but no other progression besides that bow this early on.
Yeah, and no map check yet. Usually runners put off checking the map until they get out of Sanctuary. So hopefully we'll see something pretty clear. Maybe a good like Red Crystal, Eastern Palace, Desert Palace, and get a good early Fat Fairy. And another thing these runners will probably be wanting to keep in mind is, keeping track of whether or not they see the map come up as one of the items in the first couple chests. Because if you do not see the map until after you do the bomb wall at the back of Escape, you don't even have to check that chest in Sanctuary because you know that that's the map and don't even have to bother opening it. Save yourself.
Yeah, that actually does share the same item pool dungeon wise as the rest of Hyrule Castle. So you're right. If you don't get that map right away, you'll know it's in that last chest. So here's Dark Cross. It's not so dark because they have a light cone in standard, despite not having the lantern. In standard, you will always have the light cone at this part of the game.
Yes, and as I'm sure both these runners could probably make their way and do this back of Escape without a lamp. It's not.
Yeah, I have no doubt that both of these runners are very adept at their dark rooms. So we got 3 good items in the back of Escape, a big 20, a fire rod, and a couple of sticks. So that fire rod is a good early find.
Definitely, unless you see like a Pennant Swamp or Skull Woods and Pennant Turtle Rock, and then you get the Fire Rod. It's just like, not liking this already.
Don't tempt the randomizer.
Rando is always listening. It has ears.
You're talking about a sub 6 escape, so both of these runners at about 550 have entered the sanctuary. Very
Very,
nice.
very nice times. Yes, and Chat. I'm sorry, I'm choking on my own breath. Chad actually pointing out that early Fire Rod, early Bow, we actually have Eastern are more or less completely available to us right from the get-go now.
Fully in logic, you don't need the lamp, you just need a fire rod to get back through that uh, back room. We don't have a map check yet, not sure if they are really enticed to go over there. We'll see what progression really gets us going into Lost Woods. A few bombs
Oh, God.
out of the drop, but then great bomb pull.
Yes,
From the
and some
tree.
flippers just sitting on the ground there for us.
Who left those here?
You never really know. But yeah, Eastern not 100% in logic, but definitely 100% doable by both of these runners because that last big key chest is not in logic unless you have the lamp, and that was a very fast map check on Nep's side. I believe that was just a blue pendant on Eastern, and I think it was just 2 blue crystals for the other 2.
I believe that's right. We were talking about Eastern, so my eyes went immediately to that area, and it was definitely a pendant.
Not something you're necessarily hoping for, especially with all this early early items that sort of point towards Eastern. As both runners now making their way through Kakariko. So far, nothing really big.
No, but they do pick up some cash. They're going to have to pay the bottle vendor and get his item. So they'll have to get at least 100, which they'll pick up easily with these money pickups and the 5 rupees here.
Yeah, and still plenty of things to check. Total of, I believe it's 14 checks here in Kakariko if you don't check, if you don't get a bottle. $13, $14 if you get a bottle.
Wow. You get an early hook shot, too.
Early hook shot is nice. It gives us a little bit of access once we can get to the top of the mountain. Oh, robbing that poor bottle vendor blind of his weekly earnings.
Well, he scammed enough people. I think he deserves to be scammed at least once.
And it looks like both runners freeing that desperate cuckoo that was underneath the pot. Thank you to.
So this will be their last Kakariko check until they go out of the village proper, not having a bottle. Then they'll just they just have the race game and the library to check.
Yeah, very likely we'll see both runners swinging towards South Shore, as that's really the only spot left right now. And then whether or not they decide to either swing towards Agena or the rest of regular South Shore. Personally, I'm a little bit more in favor of, if you do find the boots early and you head to Dam, go check Agena because it's a little bit faster and it's one of the more convenient times that you'll ever get to go to.
Yeah, without desert access, going to Agena is, not all that attractive to go to. So if you have boots and you can do it quickly, go for it.
Yeah, it's one of those things that's like kind of one of those risk reward plays. If you're feeling like something could be hidden over there, progression does end up there on an occasional basis and could definitely serve to help you out. Hey, there's a bottle in the day.
Better late than never.
Yeah, just a little late.
Just some bombs as the sunken treasure nobody's going to pick up, having a full complement already.
That nobody wants soggy bombs. They don't really work after the wick is lit.
Yeah, it's hard to keep them lit. They don't ignite as well.
Trinix making some quick work of these mini Moldorms. Let's see what 5 prizes await us. Ooh, hype Moldorm Cave, Moon Pearl, Cape Half Magic, and some.
This is the true hype cave here, at least for right now. So that's great. We've got cape and a sword. I don't know. That's not so great.
Yeah, kind of pointing towards Aga a little. Got Trinix going, checking those the water checks, and Nep go. Sure, where Nep's.
Yeah, they've already done escape. Is he going straight for Aga?
Possibly. He doesn't have a lamp.
Right. It's not in logic until you get the lamp. There's the boots Uncle was referring to on the hobo.
Ah, that'll speed things a little.
He is going to Aga.
Oh wow, what a play! It's a really
Okay.
early Aga. I don't blame him though.
Well, you still have a lot of checks over in Eastern. You've got 3 in the back of Sasha's closet, and you have, 3 that are in Eastern. It's possible you could get a hammer and a glove out of all of that and not have to do Aga. So this is, or some other progression. This is actually really, really big for him.
Yeah, it feels a little risky, but I definitely don't blame him for wanting to just like get Aga out of the way. Because anytime it's actually an Aga seeds, just get it done as quick as possible. Like, the better.
But dark. I mean, sure, he has the fire rod. He can light these torches. This is very risky.
Yeah, but I kind of like.
I like seeing it. I love seeing this. This is really bold. I love it. But
There's a second sword on Zora,
awesome.
which kind of also pushes you a little bit to think maybe.
Those early flips kind of led him this way to do the checks on the whole water. That's how he picked up the gloves. That's how he'll get his master sword.
Did Trinex check Ice Rod Cave? I forgot.
I did not see him check Ice Rod Cave.
That's also always an option for where something could. All right, Bonk Rock.
So Nep, just pausing here. I wonder if he might be regretting his decision to come in a bit early. It is hard to do those dark rooms. I think these are the hardest dark rooms to do.
Yeah, Aga Tower is right up there with Misery Mire, which is like how difficult it is to pull it off. He might be trying to refer to a map, see where there might be a torch or something that he could light to kind of guide him a bit. But I don't know if there are any torches in the up.
I would also have to refer to a map. I did. Oh, looks like there are, and he did find one. Is it enough to get him over? He's got the pallet shuffle, so that makes it a little bit harder to see.
I think he's just kind of taking his time, trying to take into where exactly he. I believe this is the last actual dark room. So once he's done with this, it's pretty much a free get.
Trinex turning in the bottle to the sick kid. In return for a B, he gets a heart. Good for him.
Either showing his love or just giving off his heart transfer. That making some excellent use of that fire rod in the climb, though, just destroying these red guards with fire. And Trinex looking like he's making the play towards Saha/Eastern.
Yeah, I think this is the play we expected both of the runners to do. Nep surprised us a bit, but Trinex picking up some money, heart container, heart piece rather, and some arrows. So nothing just yet. Green pendant on Misery Mire.
That's the one that everyone always wants to see.
That or Turtle Rock. Don't want to, you don't want to have to go into Turtle Rock necessarily.
That just screams, hey, hammers in Misery Mire.
All right, Sailor Neptune on his Aghanim fight.
How many blue balls do we get today?
Oh, he'll be kind. I'd say 2.
I'll go with what I think is the expected average is 3. It's either 3 or 4.
There's a third sword for Trinex.
Wow, that's a lot of swords early game. But hey, tempered, I'd take it. This just means you can kill all the bosses really quick. Yep, trying to be a little bit careful on green mail. 1 damage will take.
Yeah, making use of the cape just to avoid getting hit by those blue balls if they ricochet his way.
Yeah, if you position yourself just right, they should never come in contact with you, but definitely doesn't hurt to. All right, and at 18 minutes in, Nep is the first one to get to.
So only finding a sword so far. Oh, let's see here. 5-6 crystals look like they are Turtle Rock and Skull Woods.
I didn't quite catch the rest.
Yeah, all we're
Yeah, it
looking
looked
for
like
is
a
that last pendant.
red pendant and swan.
Okay. So what I'm saying here is that Trinex found really just the one item so far, so these next 2 checks would have to be items. What's left for him? He hasn't gone to Agena, and he can't really go anywhere else in the light world.
Yeah, so probably one of them is going to have to be lamp, or between all of them have to be some sort of glove hammer, unless it's.
And if Aga is certainly the answer, great read by Nep to get it that early. Really risky, but great read.
And hey, sometimes it just plays to be bold. We had the qualifiers going these past couple weeks, and sort of promotes the really, really aggressive plays to, try to find a way to get ahead of everybody else.
Yeah, when you're in a setting like that, where you're facing 60, 80, even 100 people, somebody's going to make a huge gamble, and it's going to pay off big for them. So those gambles will pay off, every now and then. It's great to see this one paying off for Nep so far.
Yeah, I believe it was actually Nep the other day talking in one of the Discord channels saying, "Don't worry about trying to get first. Someone's always gonna route like a drunken monkey and just place first out of nowhere. Just focus on doing good and having good execution, and getting down your bosses properly, and everything should turn out okay." Just kind of like how that Armos fell into place for Trinex.
Very clean fight. Routing like a drunken monkey has not worked out for me so far. So
One of these days I'll get it.
right. So not many places left for him to go. I think he's just got Agena, and then if he doesn't find anything there, like the flute, to get up to Death Mountain, he's on his way to Aghanim.
Certainly looks like the case. It's very unlikely. Well, rather, there's a very small pool of items that it could be at Agina's cave at this point. It's either the progression that gives us up the mountain, which is only flute, or it's a lamp which puts to Aga, or a book which just pushes us deeper into. Almost forgot about that one. That one is also equally likely.
So Nep went into Pod without a hammer. So gonna get, far enough to get most of these items. There's the lamp. Gonna get far enough to get most of these items, but unless he finds a hammer, not gonna be able to clear out this dungeon.
No, but I think Nep is sort of following along that line of thinking that Pod usually has something in it. Especially in version 31 lately, Pod has had some sort of major progression to push the rest of the seeds. So definitely don't blame the play. It's one of those dungeons that just always manages to have something.
Yeah, it's one of the more accessible dungeons in the Dark World. A few others you could argue are as accessible, but the density of checks here is just huge. There's 5 items to choose to pick up here. so bound to have something at some point.
Yeah, and while Nep made a really early play for Aga, Trinex definitely having a little bit of the advantage in the speed here of doing Aga Tower with having a Tempered Sword over the Fighter Sword as well as that Lance. As while it is nice to be able to do these rooms in the dark, you'll never be able to do them in the dark as fast as you can with a Lance.
Mm-hmm.
Unless, of course, you're some sort of god mode and you just really know how to do it. Can never count that entirely out. So far, I don't think we've seen anything too exciting here in Palace of Darkness yet.
Oh, Neptune picked up the Cane of Berna, actually. Did you see where that was? Was it here, or was it the pyramid?
It wasn't the pyramid, so it had to be here in Pod. I think it might have been the big key chest.
Well, shout out to our tracker, Lady Box Thief, being on top of that and keeping us honest here.
Yeah, so definitely that sort of makes me wonder because we have half magic, we have cape, we have cane. Kind of gonna be starting to think about Spike Cave at some point once the hammer shows up.
All right, now we get our second fight on Aghanim, this time from Trinex. So he's going to face the same, 3-4 blue balls I think I counted. That Temper Sword doesn't help him any, because you can't actually damage Aghanim unless you bounce his orange balls back to him.
Now the only thing it really gives you is kind of a little bit more leeway on where you can be, just slightly more range, a little bit safer with hitting the balls back to him. Nep looks like they're done with Pod. Gonna be going back into probably the Dark World here, and I'm guessing heading towards the Thieves Town area.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to go swim up the river a little bit and hookshot across, not having the hammer or the glove to get around there. But looks like that is the right play to make, or the only play that he could make at this point.
Oh right, well Raylan pointing out for me in chat that also we will still need a glove to get into Spike Cave too, so possibly some sort of goodie in there, but man, this has got to be one of the strangest Dark World accesses I've seen lately. Just go straight to Aga, not even a glove, not even a hammer, just Moon Pearl only. Here you go to Dark. Do not pass go, do not collect myths.
Go directly to Dark World. And here's Trinex in the Dark World.
Funny, he looks just the same in the Dark World as he does in the light.
Yeah, that Moon Pearl does wonders. So Nep gonna get a check on Bumper Cave Ledge here.
Definitely don't blame him with the cape already available so early. Just piece of heart, so nothing really worthwhile.
Trinex making the same move that many of us have, just assuming we have the gloves.
Yeah, it's one of those moments you're so not used to being in the Dark World and having, at least some form of at least glove.
Yeah, just like you were saying, this is a very lightly equipped Dark World, to enter in with. Both of them following to the west now. Trinex not going to go into Pod, so They're going to converge somewhere over here, either in Skull Woods or Thieves Town.
Yeah, Thieves or Skullwood's actually being fairly appealing. We have half magic and fire rod. Definitely really appealing for Trinex because he does have the tempered sword. So Moth is very easy to take out.
It's a 5/6. It's the most attractive play at the moment.
Yeah, especially since you know that that Moth has an item on him of some sort, whether it be actual progression or just some sort of junk. You know that one of the
Yeah, that might be the biggest appeal of Ambrosia, is that there's always an item on the boss. So in something like Skull Woods here, which has 2 items in it, if you find the first one, go straight to the boss.
Yep, it doesn't change too much in the way that some players route it because a lot of players really push towards check the back first in the hopes that both the items are in the back because then you never have to check. But just that safety and knowing that one of them is definitely on the Moth, you can kind of at least a little bit more casually check the back going that way and hoping that you find either the key or the other item along the way is always nice.
I love that Mog's bunny sprite is Celes, also from Final Fantasy VI.
And those does give Nep a little bit of trouble, just the way they're lining up in front of the torches. You never want to play nice when you want them to.
Oh, they're mummies. They don't play nice.
Yeah, usually they're telling you to get inside, take your shoes off, eat dinner.
Very quick Mothula fight from Sailor Nep, using that fire rod very effectively. And Trinex not too far behind. That was really quick.
Yep, Fire Rod and Tempered Sword just make quick work of moths. Like a moth to flame, even.
Ha ha ha.
Just full of them tonight.
Now, we didn't yet see the second item. We got the first one here, but we got to get a second one before we really get out of Skull Woods.
Yeah, Trinex didn't check the one behind the Gyvdos room here, and gonna be checking that right now while Nep heads to the front half of Skull Woods. So far, no real major progression to open up the rest of the Dark World. No glove hammer or anything like that. So it's looking like we're probably going to find at least one piece, hopefully here in either the Village of Outcasts or Thieves Town, considering most of the rest is already checked by Pod, or we'll have to run all the way around and go visit like Stumpy and Hype Cave for potential other bail.
Yeah, this seed's got to give us something relatively soon, whether it be the mirror, the flute. Let us get somewhere interesting at this point.
I mean, unless Temp accidentally set us to major glitches, and then we might have a problem.
And, I wouldn't be surprised if one of these bi-weekly seeds at some point was a major glitch seed. Really, I should not give Timp ideas.
Yeah, he'll get them good enough all on his own. So that second item in Skullwood's only being just a heart, so Village of Outcasts looking like it's gonna be likely the answer. Very possibly.
I won't always, or I will never say no to a full heart, right? If it's a quarter heart, whatever, I'll maybe pass it by. But a full heart, especially in the Dark World, and Nep has a fighter sword and green mail. You're gonna want all the health you can get.
Yeah, I kind of agree with that philosophy. Like, if it's a heart piece and it's laying on the ground, I'll get it if it were in a chest and I'm just grabbing it blind. But if it's a full heart,
Yeah, you're gonna pick up enough heart pieces where you don't have to go out of your way and spend the time to go pick it up. But the heart containers, now that's something.
and I've read something about the logic fill that it actually considers the sanctuary heart, if you pick that up, to be a not necessarily like a progression item, but like a good find item, if that makes sense. I can't remember how it's worded per the, but ooh, nice hammer there in Thieves
That's
Town.
nice.
That'll actually allow us to make sure that we can check all the chests.
Yeah, coming into Thievestown without a hammer, it doesn't always feel good because there's that risk of leaving that big chest behind. But no worries, no such worry right now. Getting through the Hellway pretty quickly, no damage taken.
Always a good feeling to get through there without taking so much damage, because there's just so many enemies and so many ways to just mess you up. Between the conveyors and those little fireball puff thingies and
So Trinex came in here a little bit later, but has the boots, and there's a lot of good places you can just dash with the boots in Thievestown. A couple of long hallways, a couple of rooms you can get through quickly. I wouldn't be surprised if we saw these two fight blind at just about the same time.
very possibly that could line up here.
Yeah, Trinex is still a couple of rooms behind, but making up ground pretty quickly with those boots.
Yeah, Nep, you need a glove to pick that up. Sorry.
Happens to everybody.
How often are you in Thieves Town without a glove? Wonder if it'll hit Trinex too. You already had that instance up bad. Oh, where was it? Heading into Skull Woods, I think.
No, that was headed across the river.
Ah, that was it. Yep, and gets him again. Nope, you need the gloves.
Ooh, there's a sack of powder.
Hammer and magic powder in Thieves. Boy, just tell me you go straight to magic bat. Why don't you?
Yeah, there couldn't be a bigger, brighter signal saying magic bat. Magic bat.
Although watch it be a red herring and just be like the the one single arrow.
Of course. Alright, so here's our first of two blind fights.
Yep, with Trinex just behind Nep. Gonna be getting into this fight real soon. So far, a very nice blind fight for Nep, and gonna take the safety and finish him off. Definitely don't blame that.
Good fight, almost a perfect script until phase 3, which I think trips up, 90% of runners if they're trying to do the script.
I mean, I still can't get the script down. It's one of those things that just, even if you're just slightly off and it messes up and you go slightly off, it messes up the whole timing of everything.
Trinex also had a very good fight. This is really close. You know, I think it was you know, despite Nep going into Agadim very early, he did spend all that time in Palace of Darkness, and so now these runners are in about the same place. All that time spent will be time saved later, though, when Trinex has to go into Palace of Darkness.
True, it is a crystal, and all he'll have to do is go in and hit up the boss. At least there's that, but... Oh hey, look what turned up finally. A glove. Thanks, Stump.
So now we won't make that mistake again. We have a glove. There's a lot of digs in this dig game. And just
Oh wow, what was that, almost 30?
Yeah, that was really close to 30, which I believe is the max.
Thankfully, oh hey, there's the other glove. I'm gonna say, thankfully it's not like the vanilla where you have to get to, I think it's what, 15 digs, and then you at least you start having a chance of getting the vanilla heart.
One of the big improvements in Rando. Consistency. So we have a glove, a hammer. We have
A second glove.
Yeah, we have two gloves actually. So yeah, this is going to open up a bit more the world for both the runners.
Yeah, it kind of falls a little bit into place for Trinex very nicely to go to pod here now, since it'll be 100% full. And yep, gotta go pay the monkey tax.
You know, with that glove, the hammer, the hookshot, all of Death Mountain is also open too, light and dark.
Definitely very good. Kind of makes you wonder where the flute is going to start to play into, or not necessarily. If the flute is going to come into play, when a medallion is going to come up, and what medallion is going to be up on.
Yeah, with Meyer as a pendant, you may not quite need that that flute because you may not head over there.
So I think at this point, Nep knows that the lamp is somewhere in the light world, having found both gloves and the hammer in dark world locations. Definitely knowing that his Aga was. So he knows that going up to the old man and going into Death Mountain is technically in logic for him, even though he does not have the lamp. However, unfortunately, having not visited the hobo yet to steal his shoes, we are not going to be seeing the mountain at super speed.
No, yeah, Nep is going to have to get over to the hobo at some point. Early flips, you know, should have led him somewhere in the water, but went straight to Agina, or Aghanim rather.
This might actually be the push for Spike Cave, like I said, with the once the gloves and hammers all show up, and that does look like what Nep is doing here. So let's see what progression, but actually junk is sitting here in Spike Cave for us today. Nep, you get the wonderful prize that is a piece of heart.
Hooray! So getting the old man first, allows Nep to start back up here, rather than going straight up to Spectacle Rock, and then going into Spike Cave, right?
Yes, it's probably one of the most convenient um, place to start too, because especially once you get the flute, it's the quickest access to a full heal and fast way to get out in order to flute wherever it is that you are going. Also, chat pointing out that if we do find the flute, flute plus mirror could potentially be our access into Desert Palace instead of just.
Yep. 2 ways to get into the desert.
And we'll have to get in there. Neb giving us our look at the east side of Death. So far, not too much. And Trinix heading off to kill the Helmasaur.
There's our flute. And a nice quick fight from Trinex again. A guaranteed item, just some bombs.
Never know when you're going to need them.
Alright, so Sailor Nep heading back to the west side of Death Mountain and gonna clear it out with the Tower of Hera. Has a fire source, so if we have to go to the basement, he's all set for that.
And, I just realized something. Trinix routed this pod kind of interestingly, sort of just pushed for the Helmasaur right away because he knew an item was there and is now back to see if the compass does. I believe he's missing the compass, does not turn up, so he can save on a couple checks here in the back end of pod and then just save and quit.
That was a good idea on his part. Nep pulling off the Hera pot, falls into the fairy room, and then gets up to the floor just below Moldorm.
Yeah, I believe even if you have a fire source, even if you do get the big key, it's technically faster to get up that way. Even if by just a little bit, hey, I'd take it, right?
Sure. It's almost like this is a race.
And they'd never know it. Hey, there's a can of Samaria. I missed that the first time through pod because we were in dark. Alright, Trinex, where are you heading?
Well, starting at Sanctuary, I would guess he is headed probably up the mountain following Nep.
After a quick pit stop at King's Tomb, it looks like. Don't blame me for that one.
Yeah, this is a quick check. You're here, you might as well do it. And there's the Sankheart we were talking about.
Yep, just a nice quick full heal. Yep, Trinix making their way up the mountain while Nep looks like they are heading for the Dark World Death Mountain and Spiral Cave. Unfortunately, Nep having to do the slow version of Spiral Cave. But it doesn't matter, we'll get there eventually, find that one chest in there that's probably a useless item, but never know, could be progression.
Now, interestingly enough, depending on how desert is laid out, we may or may not even need these boots.
True, but they were available so early, it's nice to just have them.
Oh, it's always nice to have the boots, for sure. So we'll get our Super Bunny checks here, and then Hookshot Cave shortly after that.
Yes, hopefully some goodies keep pushing these runners along. Get through this seed as quickly as possible, as the goal intends. And Nep has not yet gotten to check the top of Turtle Rock yet for the medallion, but very likely, you know, as it is always wont to do, it will probably be right here in Hookshot Cave, or Super Bunny Cave is usually one of its two hideouts.
Well, if that's the case, he does have access to get fairly far into Turtle Rock. Only thing he's missing is the ice rod to finish it off. Well, there's a Bombos. Let's go see if it's Bombos.
My money's on Bombos then. Watch it be the one time it's gonna backtalk me, it's gonna be like Ether or something.
It's Ether. No, so no Bombos today.
I hate everything.
So Nep had picked up the shovel. Gonna go check the dig spot. Might as well get this out of the way while, you know, he's got not much else to do at the moment. Not much else desirable to do. I guess he could go to the mire area.
Yeah, definitely don't think that this is too bad of a play. It's probably one of the better times he'll get to route in the shovel spot on his way to activating his flute.
And we get a second look at Harapot from Trinex.
One day I'll learn that. I say, as there are still like 5 other tricks. I was like, yeah, one day I'll learn.
Well, if you are curious about what kind of tricks you should learn, you should check out Go Mode Podcast. Go to gomodepodcast.com and you can listen to Tim, Durfee, and Axial discuss various aspects of Link to the Past Randomizer, tips and tricks, good routing choices, and glitches and tricks you should learn.
Thanks, I'll have to give that a check. Magic bestowing upon us the curse of money. Now Nep's wallet is overflowing with cash and he doesn't know what to do with it. What a horrible see. However, will he...
Sounds terrible. Alright, so Trinex finishing off Moldarm really quickly too. Gonna finish out the rest of Death Mountain. I did not notice before there's a bottle up there, but inaccessible without the mirror.
Speaking of bottles, Nep realizing, oh hey, I got a bottle at some point. I should probably turn in that to the... And over on Sailor Nep's side, the goose is loose, the duck is amuck, whatever meme floats your boat today now has access to the butter.
With that hammer, gonna finish off Helmasaur.
Or just go check out Sahasra Eastern. Just to prove.
Actually,
That's what these runners like to do.
has not been over this way at all, having skipped it so early, or earlier on. At least not the Light World version of it. In hindsight, that's really efficient, right? Only thing missing would have been maybe a mirror.
And summoning the duck again, looks like we are heading towards Ice Palace. Or at the very least, the area around Ice Palace.
Yeah, it's gonna go
give us some boots
from the hobo.
How dare you steal his soup cooking materials?
You know, he stole the boots from Uncle, which is how Uncle knew they were in the Light World to begin with. It's only fair that he gets them back. Now, it does have everything to beat Ice Palace, although with well, he does have Blue Mail, but with a fighter sword, yeah, maybe don't want to go in there just yet.
I mean, it's not super desirable, but you do have Fire Rod and half magic. You can make quick work of those spots with Fire Rod. If you can start the fight off just right where you bully the Cloud Puffs into a corner and hit them, all three of them with the Fire Rod at once, and just sort of keep them there for a bit, sort of works out. Really plays nicely. And Trinex making their way into the wonderful world of Spike Cave. Going to find their great grand prize of a heart piece here in just a moment.
Well, indeed, we are going to get this Ice Palace play, aren't we? No, he fooled us again.
Bamboozled, headed to the Zora area.
Well, there's that sword up on the top of the ledge, so it's a good time to get that.
Yeah, definitely won't be skipping that right now, because no other access that Neptune knows about to another sword potentially will think, oh hey, the other two swords are probably in GT. When will I have an opportunity? Very interesting looking palette here on Nep's side, by the way, with the palette shuffle.
Yeah, some things seem to have lost a little bit of detail along the shore, and then I don't know, he's like swimming in orange soda or something.
Yeah, it's kind of like Zora demastered area.
You know, the palette shuffle is actually really kind of cool because it's not random colors, which would be unbearable to look at. The colors still kind of follow a reasonable palette.
Like there's a rule or something.
Something like that.
And Nep looking like they're finally going to go finish off. And Trinex with the dip into Pendant Mire. Always a fun.
Always or never?
Always, because there's always something in Mire. And by that I mean there's always something in Mire unless you don't check it. Or unless you check it.
Unless you check it.
Because when you check it, there's nothing.
Well, we are still looking for Ice Rod, and we're looking for the Ether Medallion. Do we need the mirror? we have to go into Swamp Palace, we need the mirror.
Mirror for Swamp. Yeah,
Like,
if Swamp is on the menu, but we could also just get the book, and that could be our way to desert.
yeah, it could be the way to desert as well. So still a couple things we need to find, and yeah, it doesn't hurt to check Mire. It is a green pendant, so there's an extra item, I guess, technically out of here.
Yeah, I don't really hate this Mire play right here, but I kind of feel like I might have gone ice first. But that's just personal. Especially with this being Ambrosia, and there only basically being one item available in the front half of Mire here.
That's right. Find the first item, then find the big key and go to Vitreous. And then it's almost a 2-for-1 deal with that green pendant.
Yeah, that's at least not super bad because you can flute over there and turn the green pendant.
So no lamp. We're going to have to use the fire rod on Nep's side to light those torches, get those turtles knocked over and smashed. Takes care of it with no problem, though.
It's a lot better than doing it in the dark. I really hate doing that pod room in the dark. It is absolutely one of the worst.
Indeed.
Alright, let's see if Helmasaur is going to be nice to Nep today.
Not too bad for him.
Did Trinix find the big key already? Yes, he did.
Yes, he did.
I think he forgot that this is Ambrosia and can head right to Vitreous. One of those little small things that it's, you know, just always helps the count.
Yeah, it doesn't need to go any further here, but he will. No, unless he's taking that all the way to the back now. Any insight into why it's referred to as Ambrosia?
That's one of those things that you'd have to ask Boyne. I don't know why. I think there is like some actual reason. The only thing I can think of though is it kind of makes you want to have a drink.
I mean, that's just a good seed, a randomizer.
Yeah, well, these especially. I think in Ambrosia, there's a lot higher chance of having Agaby required. You know, fun items appearing on pennant bosses because bosses have to have something. Doing a little spooky action here in the basement of Mire, very nice.
That's nice to see. Another trick that I'll learn someday.
Someday. I don't know, I'm a little too scared to learn.
Too spooky. So we've got Vitreous, and with... Ooh, he's low on health.
Just playing it a little bit risky, dipping into the eyes a little bit more. Personally, I would feel comfortable, but hey, make a really quick work of them and quick work of the eyeball to find that wonderful heart piece and the green pendant.
Yeah, that Tempered Sword Spin really helped out. Take all of those eyeballs out quickly. Blue Goo for Sailor Nep. And ending there, not gonna take the trip into Mire, at least not just yet.
Yeah, I think at this point both players probably are just feeling the ice dip.
It's inevitable, and it's open.
Hello, duck? Okay, there we are. Trinix going ahead and gonna go turn in that green pennant real fast though before continuing on to either ice or whatever he had planned. Although unfortunately that red guard ruining his super speed fun.
Couple of bombs. Hmm.
There you
So
go,
Meyer
buddy,
was
for your
empty.
trouble.
Trinex getting his look at Ice Rod Cave. He hasn't done that yet. Now, getting that key at the first chest of Ice Palace means he can do it, a bit more vanilla way. He can go into that locked door just to the right of the big spike after pulling off the bomb jump.
Yeah, it gives him quick check of was it the 2 or the 3 in the right side of Ice Palace, technically, however you want to refer to it. Upper Ice Palace, H room, Hammerlock. I don't know. Ice Palace has so many letters in it for each of its rooms. It's kind of hard to keep track of what all these rooms are.
Yeah, there's Ice Tea. There's a few others. IPBJ.
Element.
Nails the bomb jump first try. Still just some keys. Still looking for that ice rod, that mirror, that book, ether.
Hey, some cash. Just make us more rich, please.
Yeah, I can't quite buy those items. Not in this version, at least.
You mean this isn't Halloween Rando where we could buy random?
No festive today. Alright, we'll get down to the iced tea room on Sailor Nep's end. Trinex not too far behind, just a few screens there.
That big key I lit you. And, I've never actually seen the bomb jump done from that side before, so...
Oh, across the hole in the freezer room.
Yeah, I usually see that done left to right. I've never seen it done right to left. Trying to get in that cool stair glitch there that makes it really easy to just jump.
Yeah, it was just a different way that Nep routed it, differently than Trinex. I think led him to jump from right to left. So Nep dropping down into Cold Stare can work on getting rid of that big ice block with Bombos rather than the Fire Rod.
Save yourself a bunch of magic. Allow you to bully the puff rods into the corner with the fire. And just beat the crap out of them with the fire rod.
Yeah, blink and you miss it. That was really quick.
I don't think there was a regular sword swing.
So now, where do you go? Because we know Eastern didn't really have anything. Desert's not open. Mire was empty. And you just got... And you can't get into Turtle Rock. So you got a bunch of overworld checks.
I'd be very tempted to go and start do like blacksmith chain or something along those lines because, well, we know a mirror, so we can't do like graveyard ledge.
Well, you don't have mirror, but you could still do the blacksmith chain. You could save and quit. In advanced mode, that's allowed. In basic item placement, it's not.
Yeah, well, no, I mean like graveyard ledge isn't available. K45 is unavailable, but like I'm feeling there's got to be something inside the blacksmith chain, or yeah, that's really all the options we have.
Right. Trinex also bullying Cold Star right into the corner. Again, not a single sword slash, I don't think. Just a bunch of fire rod hits. Really good work.
Well, of course, Trinex knows how to use that fire rod. He's a fire-headed dragon, at least on one of. I would love to make Trinex a custom Trinex sprite that's just the rock thing as the green male, blue male's the blue head, and then the red male's the red head.
That's a really cool idea. I would love to see something like that turn out.
I don't know if it would be feasible to like actually work it, but it's one of those things that's just like, yeah. So let's see, just bombs off of the blacksmith there. Maybe purple chest.
Yeah, the smith chain without a mirror is really painful to do because you got to go in and out of the dark world, back and forth.
Yeah, it's very save and quit and flute heavy. At least for the second half, you can, once you get back into the light world, you can just flute yourself to 7 over by the dam and just walk over to the thief guy.
Yeah, there's ways to get around the map a little bit quicker. Hammerpegs has a mushroom. So a late mushroom in kind of the item placement, but we're still looking for some items. So might be a good idea to turn that in soon. Just with the way the logic kind of places things, if you get an early mushroom, could lead you to something progression-wise, but a late mushroom tends to not. However, you're running out of places to go.
Yeah, we're definitely really low on places to go. It's kind of like a mid-game-ish mushroom. Just for the placement of the hammer inside of Thieves Town after Ag 1, so very likely has what we're looking for. Probably like, once again, the book or the mirror, or maybe in the ice rod, or just something to get it.
Or ether.
Hey, that's an item.
That's definitely an item. The item we need to get into Turtle Rock.
Alright, call book or mirror in, well, We'll say Mirror is in Turtle Rock, and then Book is in Mimikyu for some reason. Just to double the haha, you have to go to Desert after.
Yeah, here's 2 ways to get in the desert. Thanks for coming.
By the way, we'll stick Ice Rod on land mode just to rub the salt in the wound a little bit harder, so that way you have to double dip Turtle.
Look, I know Timp rolled this seed, but he wasn't that mean, was he?
I don't know. I've seen the look in his uncle's eye.
You know, I actually shouldn't be too hard on him. He and the guys do good work on the podcast, and you know they let us do this this podcast or this recast restream every 2 weeks with a bi-weekly seed. Tim, Herpy Derpy Axial, thanks a lot for letting us do this.
Yeah, thanks guys, and just don't roll seeds like I do. So be better than that. I roll terrible seeds.
I think everyone rolls a bad seed from time to time.
Mine are legendary. I'm starting to get up there with the rolls of Math Girl. So if that tells you,
Noted. Never let you roll those seeds.
just ask our tracker, Lady Bucksleaf. We had a fun one a couple weeks ago that I rolled, and
Nep actually making his way into Turtle Rock. Sans Ice Rod, which of course means the Ice Rod's got to be in here. But we'll see how far he gets, and well, he can make it all the way to Laser Bridge actually.
well, depending on I was gonna say depending on item layout, he can go all the way to Laser Bridge and find pretty much anything. My bet still is gonna be on like Landmo or some sort of item in here is going to lead us. Oh no, Nap, that's the wrong way. No.
Just his finger slipped on the controller, and now he's got to take the scenic route.
Well, here's the flow boat way.
If you look to your left, you'll see a torch you can light.
If you look to your right, you'll see a torch you can light.
And this concludes our tour. Hey, look at it. It's an Ice Rod.
Oh man. Well, there go my hopes and dreams. Well, we'll at least be able to finish the dungeon while we're here. We've still got to find our desert access, though.
Yeah, we're still missing either the book or the mirror to get over there. Trinex using spin speed, and taking the unconventional route up the mountain to get over to Turtle Rock. I guess it's because he hadn't checked Spectacle Rock yet.
Yeah, I don't think he had. Just as a final double check of, well, is Ice Rod gonna be here potentially, or am I gonna find another way into desert? Nope. Okay, Turtle Rock it is. Though chat pointing something out that I definitely want to put on a t-shirt now. Want to put a picture of an Ice Rod on the t-shirt and have it say, I went to Turtle Rock and all I got was this stupid Ice Rod.
I'll buy 10 of those.
And then do the interchangeable version of it with, like flippers and mirror. Just make a custom one. Insert item here for Rando. I went to Rando Turtle Rock and all I got was this stupid progression item.
kind of a limited audience who would kind of get the reference out in the wild, though.
True, but it's
Oh,
also
it's a good conversation piece.
that, and it's also one of those, yeah, this is my con shirt.
Yeah, yeah, it is a con shirt for sure. A lot of people would get it there.
I think the ultimate alternative is I went to Turtle Rock, and of course there was progression there.
All right, so Sailor Nap heading the maze room in the dark. So as long as you know the pattern, hold down and hold right, you'll hit the button quickly. Then again, hold right some more and hold left, and you'll get back to the other side.
Yeah, probably one of the easier dark rooms to do, along there with like Eastern. As a fun note, I actually did that room half falling asleep once. So it was kind of interesting. But just goes to show you how easy the roller room is in the dark. Even someone who's falling asleep can get through it.
Yeah, it's easy when it takes you where it needs to go. Yep, doing really good laser skips here.
Although I was actually going to congratulate him, and he checked the last item anyway because he should have known that that was a compass. Last item is on Trinex. Ambrosia strikes again.
Yeah, I'm not sure how many times either of these runners would run Ambrosia, so they may just not be used to all the nuance.
True. It's just one of those things that's you really got to try to just keep it on the back of your mind. It's like, okay, we're doing this now.
All right, doing this with a Master Sword, so gonna take a few more hits. Rather, he's doing it with a hammer.
Hammer Trinex is always fun, though a little bit odd to see some PvP action of Sailor Nep versus Trinex here.
This is so meta right now.
It gets even more meta when we get to see Trinex fight Trinex.
You're just blowing my mind.
Will he use his fire head on the ice head?
It's too bad we didn't get to see Sailor Nep versus Trinex versus Trinex versus Trinex.
Like if they synced up, yeah, that would have been great.
That would have been too trippy for me.
Hey, there's our desert access.
Wow, there's our Go mode item. So we are in Go mode. Sailor Nep gets it at 121, almost exactly. Trinex not too far behind. He's gonna get through the rest of Turtle Rock here.
Yep, slightly quicker with the lamp, but not too much quicker. And he'll be able to make up a little bit of time if he remembers that we're doing Ambrosia and he hasn't found the compass yet. Whether he decides to stop for a couple safeties like Nep is doing right now, and ultimately GT routing once we get there.
Yeah, the GT routing could be a big factor in here. Because Sailor Nep is still about half a dungeon ahead. And Desert's going to be pretty quick, especially being in Go mode.
Yeah, so we'll see. It could also come down to who goes left, who goes right in Ganon's tower, and if someone finds silvers and the other one doesn't. Because even if it does lead to ultimately a longer Ganon, those silvers save so much time on the actual Ganon fight.
Yeah, and Sailor Nep is on Master Sword. Trinex is on Tempered Sword, so not just silvers, it could be just your sword that it comes down.
And also whether these players find another sword in GT or not.
There's that Ambrosia again.
It always manages to sneak in. I constantly have to be reminding myself every time I head in a dungeon in Ambrosia, I am in Ambrosia. There is an item on the boss. I must not forget that.
Just put a sticky note up on your monitor or your TV or wherever you happen to be playing and just say, Ambrosia, item on boss.
Wait, sticky notes. That's a brilliant idea. I don't have to be marking up my monitor constantly with sharp. And Trinex fighting Trinex from behind. Very interesting strat.
Trinex sneaking up on Trinex. A little bit easier with that tempered sword, not having to worry about the real tiny hitbox from the hammer.
And very quick work of the rock portion of Trinex. Nice double spin into a final hit. To get Trinex's Go Mode mirror at 1:24:23. And also with that Landmulus kill on Sailor Nep's side, you know where
We are headed up to Ganon's Tower. If you'd like to play along at home, you can always guess a number 1 to 22 and guess where that big key is going to be in Ganon's Tower.
Get your guesses in chat. Where do you feel the big key is going to be today, Lamar?
You know, wherever I guess, it's not going to be there. So I'm going to guess...
Where's the big key not going to be?
Well, big key is not going to be tile room.
Okay. I am going to guess the Fire Snake room over on left side.
I think I've only ever seen it there once. Out of all the seeds I've seen, I think I've only ever seen that big key show up in the Fire Snake room once.
Yeah, let's see. I think depending on routing, that's usually check
Should be 9.
8 or 11.
Now, Fire Snake should be 9 if you count the torch as 1. Some people don't end up counting the torch unless you actually get it.
Yeah, I think that's per the end card, because the end card only counts the torch if you.
That's right. All right, Sailor Nep, heading up the stairs to Ganon's Tower. Will he go left? Will he go right? Let's see.
Only he knows.
He knows.
Very cool palette here on Ganon's Tower.
Very dreary.
It kind of feels like Zelda 1-ish, right?
Yeah, very muted, brownish gray colors. I could see this being a Zelda 1 dungeon. He's gonna go right. Picking up a small key, he'll go to the right.
And if he doesn't find it here, does he go full right? Accidental. And Trinex making quick work of Landmulus. Level 7 dungeon boss.
Yeah, no contest there.
And Nep not giving those Gyarados any time to fool around. And no key on the right side here. Gonna go pick up that free key in the.
Yeah, always remember to pick up this key, because if you end up having to do all the rooms and you miss that key, you're gonna either have to go back for it, or if you forget, you'll go up the tower without a key.
As the old man says in one of the hint tiles, go to the...
More Zelda 1. All right, so we had 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That was 7 and 8. I believe that was 8. 9 with the torch, actually. Is my math right on that? 2 in Hope Room, 4 in the Compass Room. 1 more in the torch. All right, so 9. Hey, it looks like, I think it was Blackwax who guessed 9. Let me... No, congrats to Blackwax. Alright, so Trinex going left. Gonna make up a little bit of time, not having to deal with the right side. So this is where it's gonna get interesting. Nep has done his climb, or started his climb in the gauntlet, and has a Master Sword. Trinex is gonna be right behind him, making up some ground here. But he's got a Tempered Sword, so yeah, you know, a couple swings here, a couple swings there. It's going to add up. These guys are going to be really close by the time they get up to the top.
Yeah, unless Nep finds silvers or the other sword is up here at the top of Ganon's tower, Trinex is going to be able to pick up quite a bit of ground on...
Just 6 quick fire rod shots, and down goes Lanmo too.
Look at that swag boat.
You get to the quick kill in the Wizrobe room. Awesome. This is really good execution.
Always satisfying to get the quick kill.
Yeah, he is blazing through this gauntlet. I don't think it's going to be as close as I originally thought.
Yeah, I was gonna say that fall there. I was like, well, maybe it could come down to like a Ganon fall.
Nep showing his dissatisfaction at the torch that didn't light itself.
Well, maybe next year Ganon will install the clapper for...
Now there's a reference.
I mean, it may be a reference, but hey, they still sell them in stores.
Well, no clapper here, no sword or silvers for Sailor Nep out of those last 2 chests. Got 2 more to check before he has to do the dreaded Master Sword silverless.
But not looking likely. Yeah, it's what, for the final phase, 24 Master Sword spin?
Yeah, 24 Master Sword spins, and then you're going to need, I think you need definitely half magic, or at least 1 magic refill.
Yeah, I believe that's correct. And nope, no silvers.
Now Silver's Trinex just through the gauntlet into the mini Helma room, about to get to his Moldorm 2. Sailor Nep is going to get his Aga 2. Let's see how good he is at
And
geometry.
Trinex not stop.
Well, there's a great start. Here's a triple. Can he get it again? 1, 2. Nope. Still.
Not even offered the chance. Nice double there, though.
That was a good double. Trinex making his way across, hits the last chest. And whatever equipment we have, we have. Sailor Nep about to flute over to Ganon.
Time to flay us a pig. Trinex comes to make work of his Aga 2. Nice triple for him. Hey, didn't we already see this?
Yeah, very similar pattern. Alright, so Nep getting in a good position, getting these double spins in phase 1 of Ganon. Important to get as many hits on Ganon as you can.
Especially when you only have the Master Sword. As many doubles as you can rock will definitely speed up your time by quite a bit. It's always the hope, especially when you have Master Sword, that Ganon will teleport up to that top right corner for you, get in about 5 or 6 good doubles, and really give you a quick time in this second phase here.
Yeah, so he's on phase 2, and Trinex, getting a bit more damage on him already into phase 2. This is incredibly close here.
This is the difference between Master Sword and Temper, being able to do those dashes, not having to rely so heavily on spins. Already pushing into phase 3.
Phase 3, but he only has 2.5 hearts, so he's got to be careful not to get too close and not to get a bat hit in phase 4.
Yeah, one hug from Ganon and you're out. Let's see if he gets the torch glitch. Yep. Just barely in time.
Just made it. Oh, Nep didn't get it.
Well, Nep did stop for potions, so they are at least very well equipped, especially with having to do way more spins than Trinex will have.
Yeah, he's definitely got to try and position Ganon, light those torches right when he's in a good position to get hit. But down goes Ganon on Trinex's end.
Get your GGs in Trinex for chat. All he has to do is step over this several pixel gap, not fall into the pit, and he is in the Triforce room. GG.
GG's to Trinex. Sailor Nep took a fall in phase 4.
Ooh. But one of those things that does happen, Rando. Yeah, just sometimes it'll happen, especially when you have to do all these spins and every hit you do against Ganon.
So let's see if we can get Trinex in for an interview.
If he'd like to come.
So Nep back onto phase 2. Now he's got 3 bottles. Do you know how much I have not been keeping track of his inventory. Do you know how much of a refill he has?
I believe he has 2 blue potions. I don't know if he's used one.
Oh, there's at least one. So, from his inventory screen. He was doing just fine. Getting close to Ganon to have to do these spins, you are bound to bounce around a little bit. So at some point you're gonna, end up taking an unfortunate fall.
Yeah, not necessarily all in one run, but it's bound to happen at least eventually. Nep does have half magic. You can get about 2 spins in per Ganon Torch. So he may not have another potion as long as he keeps very consistent.
I don't think we'll be able to get Trinex in for an interview, but GG's, that was a good run, good race by him.
He is in chat though, so Trinex, if you have any or if anyone has any questions for Trinex, feel free to get them in chat, and we will relay questions while Nep is getting going on more spins on Ganon. I'm surprised with all the texts that they have for Ganon to say at the beginning of the fight that they haven't gone for a "You spin me right round" reference.
There's a lot of very clever puns throughout the game, both on Ganon, Uncle. A few other NPCs make some jokes too. And down he goes. Good work by Nep. GG.
GG for Nep, and according to the credits, it looks like we had Quake on the Master Sword pedestal. So I'm trying to think here where the silvers could have finally lied, and I'm thinking the only place that's really left available was on one of the tablets or Graveyard Ledge.
Yes, because they were in the light world. Not too many places that we didn't go to. And finding the mirror late and never finding that book leads me to think that it's got to be in those places.
Utranix also points out Checkerboard Cave. I don't think either of our runners checked Checkerboard Cave either. Though I'm not sure if this seed was rolled before or after the fix that was implemented recently that actually has Ganon say the correct spoiler text for the silver arrows, because he could be referring to the bow that was set in Link's house.
That's true. That's true. He does sometimes get confused and mix up those two bows. Sailor Nep giving us a quick speed run of the credits.
Hey, look, Sailor Nep beat Trinex.
What a twist!
A shock ending.
So Sailor Nep was also declining an interview, but again, GG's. Trinex, Nep, if you have any final thoughts on this seed, you're both in chat. You're welcome to say so, and we can relay them.
Oh, question for both runners. Was this actually your guys' first experience with Ambrosia? Have you done many Ambrosia seeds before, or give them a moment to catch up to us in chat?
So while they're answering, I'll want to give my quick take on it. This was my first Ambrosia. I see calls for it all the time in the Link to the Past randomizer Discord, and it was interesting to try. Personally, I don't see the huge appeal for it. There's a little bit of a difference in the dungeon routing that we saw today, but it's a standard mode, and you get a hint for boots. I don't know. I'll stick with an open seed personally.
Yeah, both runners mentioning that this is actually one they haven't done many, it seems, but not necessarily completely inexperienced with Ambrosia. Well, that's fair. It's still a fairly new mode. It's a little something different, something to spice it up a little bit. Playing with all the various options that we have out there and available for the randomizer now.
Yeah, lots of different things you can do with the customizer, and this is just enough variation for it to stay a little bit more interesting. And having having an item on every boss, gives it that little bit of intrigue.
It gives it a little more like an actual dungeon feel, if that makes sense. Like you're actually that there's a reward at the end of the dungeon. It's not like, oh well, they're just gonna have a map.
Right.
Although I would be interested to maybe see sort of a more random variant on Ambrosia, where you actually do like a map compass shuffle on top of it. And that could lead certainly to some interesting changes with routing and how you consider dungeons. I think it could even potentially be a more interesting version of Ambrosia. Maybe something to bring up to Boyne and maybe some other members of the community, see how they would like that idea.
So, any final thoughts on this seed? It was actually, fairly quick. We got done in the mid 130s, 135. Well, that's in-game time. 136 or so from Trinex, and not too far after from Sailor Nep. Good job from our runners. Any thoughts, Amherst?
It was a fairly straightforward scene. It seemed fairly friendly for what we seem to get sometimes, no matter how odd or slightly confusing some seeds can be. So it was nice to see kind of one where it was like a little bit linear, sort of locked you down at the end, and okay, well here you go, there's your progression, go do it. But I think that about wraps us up here. Once again, I have been Amerith. This has been my co-host Umaga. We have had Lady Boxleaf as the tracker today. We have had Xylo over on the restream today. First time doing his restream today. Give him a thanks over in the chat. We have been hosted today by the Go Mode Podcast. Definitely go give them a check at gomodepodcast.com. Send your love out to Tim, Perfy Durfy, and Axial as they talk about randomizer every 2 weeks. That is 1 week from today, 6 days from today, that they will be putting up the next episode of the Go Mode Podcast.
Yeah, thanks to everybody involved. Thanks to Trinex and Sailor Net for putting out these VODs for us to use too.
And if you would like to be a part of playing these bi-weekly seeds, or even potentially getting yourself streamed, or even commentating, tracking, or restreaming, hit us up on the Go Mode Podcast Discord. I believe there may be a link in the chat. If not, over on gomodepodcast.com, there is a link to the Discord. Find us all in chat, and we'll see you there.
Good night.
Have a good night.